Good morning. In yesterday's class, we spoke about coherent detection of a DSB-SC signal, double sideband suppressed carrier signal. We said there are two possible methods of detection for suppressed carrier signals. One is coherent detection or synchronous detection, where the locally generated carrier at the receiver side will be in synchronism with the transmitted side carrier. So whatever carrier we had transmitted, the locally generated carrier will be in synchronism. What is the meaning of synchronism? It should be same in frequency and phase as the transmitter carrier. We say a local generated carrier is synchronized with the transmitter's carrier only when both are having exactly the same frequency and phase. I told you having same frequency at least is a possibility, but having same phase is almost impossible. Okay? So we have to find alternate ways of synchronization. And I told you that's where the Costas loop comes into picture, which we will study today. And this method of demodulation, where we are going to have a locally generated carrier multiplied with the received signal using a product modulator, and then whatever product you get, you will send it through a low pass filter to take out the required message signal, because the message signal has low frequency components. Okay, and in this we saw two cases. When there is a perfect synchronism, this phi will not be there. So when I have only cos 2 pi fct, that means the local generated signal and the transmitted signal are in perfect synchronism with each other, and then we can detect the message perfectly. No problem at all. You will get a beautiful message. But there can be two possibilities which will normally happen. Either a phase error will happen or a frequency error. So what is this phase error? When the locally generated carrier is different in phase from the transmitter carrier. So usually this condition is unavoidable. I told you no two signal generators can generate sinusoidal signals having the same phase. There will always be some phase change. Phase error will always be there. It is unavoidable in all receivers. Okay. So what happens then? We said this is the locally generated signal. We multiplied it with the received signal, and we use the formula cos A into cos B, cos of A plus B and cos of A minus B. We got this terms, out of which we said when we send that composite signal through a low pass filter with bandwidth plus or minus W or plus or minus FM, if it's a single tone signal, the output will be AC by 2 m of t into cos phi. And in that case, if phi is 0, AC by 2 m of t it will be, because cos 0 is 1. If phi is 90, then cos 90 is 0. The output signal becomes 0. So that effect is known as quadrature null effect. And if phi is 180 degrees, I'll get negative of the message. Minus AC by 2 m of t we'll get. Anyway, next condition we took was frequency error. Frequency error means we'll consider a small change in frequency. We'll use the new frequency as FC dash or F1 we called it as. The new frequency is FC dash or F1, which is a little more than FC. Okay, the difference between FC dash and FC is delta F. That's how we have taken. So there is a frequency difference now. Okay, and in that case, when we apply that, we'll again multiply. In this circuit, we are going to multiply this cos 2 pi fc dash into t or cos 2 pi f1 into t, no phi, with received DSB SC signal. We saw we'll get multiple terms, and those multiple terms will be lying near zero, it can be far away from zero, so on. Again, it depends on how effectively, how much that delta F is. If that delta F is, here we haven't shown completely, but yesterday I showed how if delta F varies, here, yeah. See, if delta F is small, there will be overlap. Proper reception is not possible. If delta F is large also, the separation will be so high that a normal low pass filter which you have designed for the message cutoff frequency will not work. It won't filter the complete signal. So usually it is a problem whenever there is a frequency error. I told you, hence to avoid phase and frequency errors, we are going to use Costa's loop. After that, we studied the second technique known as carrier reinsertion technique for demodulation or detection of double sideband suppressed carrier signal. Here we are just going to add a carrier at the receiver. You receive the DSB-SC signal S of t, you add a locally generated carrier at the receiver. Okay, that carrier I told you will always have a phase shift because I can't generate two signals having same phase. And we are going to simplify this equation. Find the amplitude or envelope. This equation comes in the form of A cos theta minus B sin theta, whose amplitude can be found as root of A square plus B square. Why should I find the amplitude? Why is it we find the amplitude here of the signal? Which type of detector we are using? Yes? Which type of detector we are using?
Envelope.
Envelope detector. Envelope detector detects the envelope of the signal. Which envelope means it is the amplitude of the modulated signal. Okay. So you find the envelope of this signal in the form root of A square plus B square. And when you simplify, you see that if you make this condition, if you have phi to be very small or cos phi to be very small, or in whole twice message into cos phi plus 1 to be very less than square of the message signal, it is possible for us to recover the message correctly. So this is what we discussed yesterday. Now let's move on to the Costa's receiver, which is a technique to, so all of you please make note of this. Costa's receiver is a technique to synchronize the locally generated carrier to the transmitted carrier. I told you, even if you have signal generators generating perfectly the same frequency, one at transmitter, one at receiver, both are generating exactly the same frequency, that is a possibility, but same phase is impossible. So we have to have some technique to synchronize the locally generated carrier to the transmitted carrier, and that technique is the very useful Costa's loop or Costa's receiver. Okay, so this Costa's receiver, look at the block diagram. It has let me say two coherent detectors. One upper coherent detector known as the in-phase coherent detector. Okay, so this upper coherent detector is called in-phase. So this is in-phase detector or the I channel. You see same product modulator, oscillator, and then a low pass filter. So whatever output we get here will be from the in-phase channel. Again, On the lower side also you have a product modulator to which an oscillator signal is fed sine 2 pi FCT plus 5 and a low pass filter. So this is called the quadrature phase. Can somebody tell me why the name quadrature phase? I had spoken about phase quadrature signals.
90 degrees.
You see here, the signal fed here is cos 2 pi FCT plus 5 and that is passed through a 90-degree phase shifter. You are going to get sine 2 pi FCT plus 5. So, the local oscillator signal which we are giving here, VL or VLO, is the in-phase signal or the cosine, and what we are giving here is the quadrature phase signal or the sine. Sine and cos are said to be in phase quadrature with each other. Okay. So, we have two coherent detectors here. Basically, we have two coherent detectors. Okay. The I channel or the upper in phase channel to which we are going to give a cosine carrier cos 2 pi FCT plus 5 and the Q channel which is there below to which we are going to give the sinusoidal carrier sine 2 pi FCT plus 5. So that plus 5 should be included because we know that there will be some phase shift. At the transmitter we have used only cos 2 pi FCT. So at the receiver I'll include that plus 5 to consider that phase shift which will be there. Okay. So now let's see how this circuit works to minimize this phase difference or to bring perfect synchronization between the transmitter and receiver carrier. So along with this I channel and Q channel coherent detectors, we have one more additional component which is called a phase discriminator circuit. So what is the job of this phase discriminator circuit? It will take the input from this I channel as well as Q channel and the output what it generates will be what? Output of this discriminator will be directly proportional to the phase difference phi. If you look at later on we will do it. You will get AC cos phi m of t, half of AC cos phi m of t at this point and half AC sin phi m of t at this point. So when both are given to this phase discriminator, its job is to get an output voltage that is proportional to the phase difference phi. I'll get an output voltage which is proportional to this phase difference phi. Okay, that's why this circuit is called phase discriminator. It can be very easily realized using XOR gate. Okay, later on this time you don't have it. Anyway, if you are interested, you can search and see how phase discriminator is realized. Okay, now the voltage which I get that is proportional to the phase error phi is fed to an oscillator. This oscillator is called voltage controlled oscillator or VCO. In short, this is called VCO, voltage controlled oscillator. So with the name you can easily guess what it does. What should it do? The output frequency or phase, or let me say output frequency and phase, both will be controlled by a voltage input which is given to this circuit. That's why the name voltage controlled oscillator. The output frequency and phase of this VCO will be controlled by the input voltage. And that input voltage Vd is proportional to this phase difference phi or the phase error phi. So what happens here is that the voltage which controls this oscillator will generate the frequency or phase in such a manner that initially if we start with a difference of say 50 degrees or say, Let me say there was a phase difference of 50 degrees initially. Once it passes through this loop and comes back as feedback, that 50 becomes 40. Again, the next time it goes, again it comes down to 30 and finally 0. So every time this phase difference goes on getting reduced. With every pass of the signal in the circuit, this phase error or the phase difference will start getting reduced and finally it will reach 0. How does that happen? Here, the input signal which we receive here is your DSB-SC wave. You are going to receive the DSB-SC wave. What is that DSB-SC wave? AC cos 2 pi FCT into M of t. And that DSB-SC wave is fed to the I channel detector as well as the Q channel detector. You see, it's the same signal going to the upper channel as well as lower channel. Okay. So now let's try to see what happens here, or let's try to derive the expressions. Okay. What happens here is that as we receive this input signal, the DSB-SC signal, it passes through the upper coherent detector and the lower coherent detector. So can you tell me what will be the output after the upper product modulator? What would be the value of V01 of t? It is your DSB-SC signal AC cos 2 pi FCT into M of t, correct? The DSB-SC signal which is received here into the locally generated carrier. How much is that? Cos 2 pi FCT plus 5. So, what would be the output here? AC M of t by 2 I am surely going to get, because it is in the form cos A into cos B. How many times we have done that? It will be cos of A plus B. 4 pi FCT plus 5. Correct? 2 pi FCT plus 2 pi FCT becomes 4 pi FCT plus 5 plus cos what? Who's that? Okay. Plus cos A minus B. A minus B means 2 pi FCT minus 2 pi FCT is 0. Cos of minus 5 is 5. Correct? So this is the signal which I'll get after this product modulator here. Okay. Now, when this V01 of t passes through a low pass filter, among these two components, which component will remain? See, I have this component and this component. After low pass filter, after LPF, among the two, which will pass through? Naturally, this 4 pi FCT will get eliminated. Only AC by 2 M of t cos phi. This signal will pass through. AC by 2 cos phi into M of t. Only this part of the signal will pass through the low pass filter. Is that clear? So after low pass filter, you'll just get the signal shown here, that is half AC cos phi. What? M of t. Now we'll see what happens in the lower part. Again here I'll receive AC cos 2 pi. This is your DSB-SC signal. This doesn't change. AC cos 2 pi FCT into M of t is what is received. What is the other input to this product modulator? Into sine 2 pi FCT plus 5. See here, this is 90-degree phase shifted carrier or sinusoidal carrier. Sin 2 pi fct plus 5. Can you simplify this? So if I consider this as V02 of t, what would be the value of V02 of t? Yes, can somebody tell me fast? This is in the form cos A into sin B. Cos A into sin B format. What would be the, in terms of sum I want to express? Right, cos A into sin B as the sum of two.
Sine
Yes,
of A plus B plus sine of A plus B minus sine of A minus B by 2.
yes, sin of A plus B 4 pi fct plus 5 minus or plus?
Minus 1.
Minus sin of A minus B divided by 2. This is the equivalent for cos A into sin B. See, this is A, the upper one I've taken 2 pi fct as A, 2 pi fct plus 5 as B. So this is the signal, and here if you have a sign of minus 5, A minus B means sign of minus 5. What is sign of minus 5?
minus 95.
Minus sin 5. So you have a minus outside already. It will become plus sin 4 pi fct plus 5 plus sin 5. Okay. Because this becomes A minus B, which is sin of minus 5, which becomes minus sin 5. Minus of minus sin 5 is plus sin 5. So this is the output voltage V02 of T in the lower or quadrature channel. Now when these two signals, or when this V0 of T is sent through a low pass filter, what remains? Naturally the high frequency component, this 4 pi fct, goes. What remains after the low pass filter is AC by 2 m of t sin phi. Okay, so that's what is written here. After low pass filter, what remains is AC by 2 m of t sin phi. Now these two signals are fed to the phase discriminator. AC by 2 m of t cos phi and AC by 2 m of t sin phi are fed to the phase discriminator, and this will generate an output voltage Vd, which is proportional to this phase difference phi. The phase error or phase difference phi, the corresponding voltage is generated, and VCO will now generate an output cosine signal with lesser phase difference than before. VCO tends to move in a direction so that this phase difference will get minimized, or it should become zero after a few iterations throughout the loop. So every time the signal moves through the loop, initially it takes few iterations, maybe 4 to 5 iterations depending on the phase shift. It will, every time it comes a step closer to zero. Finally, this phi will be completely eliminated and made zero. So you will have the receiver carrier same as transmitter carrier, which was cos 2 pi fct. Transmitter carrier was AC cos 2 pi fct. Receiver carrier will also become cos 2 pi fct with some amplitude. We haven't shown the amplitude. I told you the simple reason is we don't want to complicate the equations. That's all. Okay. So this concept is very useful and is commonly used in all circuits wherever we do synchronous detection. So in all circuits where we do synchronous detection, we are going to use a Costas receiver to bring perfect synchronism between the transmitted carrier and the received carrier. Is that clear? Any doubts in this? And the final output here. What happens to the final output signal? We are measuring the final output at this point. You see, not here. Final output is same as this, AC by 2 m of t cos phi. When many iterations through the loop, when the signal passes, this phi is going to become 0. So what is cos 0? 1. So you will get the required output signal, which is a scaled version of the message, AC by 2 into m of t. Remember, the purpose of any receiver is to get back the message signal. We are going to get back the message signal perfectly when this loop functions, and after a few iterations it is going to make this phi 0. The phase difference, it will make it as 0. So if I take the output at this point, I am going to get the output as AC by 2 m of t. Is that clear? This is how a Costas receiver or a Costas loop works. Any doubts in this? Yes or no?
Ma'am, what happens if phi becomes 90 degree?
That's what I'm telling. The receiver will work till it makes phi 0. Even if phi is 90 in this case, this feedback loop will work till phi is made 0. So irrespective of what this phase error is, it will be made 0 after a few iterations through the loop. Okay. So even if phi is 90 here, it will be made 0, and in the end you will be able to recover the message. That's the advantage of this circuit. Irrespective of what phase difference we have at the receiver local oscillator signal, it will be made 0. Okay. That's what is explained in words. Whatever I told you is put in words, and the equations. Okay. I think if you have understood this,